Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we doing out there today? Hope we're feeling good. Hope we're doing good. Hope we're ready to meet the morning with purpose. It's good to see everyone. Thank you for stopping in today. As you know, it's what we do every day from 4:30 to 5. It's our walk and talk, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. And hey, if you're using this in the morning to get up, guys, all you have to do is just drop a comment. I'm up and I'm out. Lets me know you guys are on your grind, you're doing your thing, and this is just like an alarm clock for you. Really appreciate everyone who stops in, everyone who has something to share, everyone who brings the energy and the conversation and their point of view. Really love it. Love to see it, guys, and always happy that you guys are out there and a part of what we're doing. So, as I said, today is Thursday, March 6th, 2025. And we are here to once again discuss the importance of discipline, guys. I'm going to give it a few moments. I really appreciate the ones of you who are here. Like I said, please drop a comment, like, share, invite in others. And we're going to get started in just a moment. But please enjoy the walk with me. See what it looks like out here today. Looks the same way it normally does. Pretty bare, but you go where you dare. All right. Whew. For those of you who did take a chance to read the title, remember this is about the importance of a morning routine for discipline. That's what we'll be discussing this morning, is how important the morning routine is for discipline. It's not just about getting up. Remember, there are 4 pillars to good morning. Please drop a like, comment, share, comment down below. What's your morning routine? What's that one thing you've added to your morning routine to really help you get up and get out and face the day? Um, it is always a pleasure to be here. But like I said before, we're going to discuss the importance of a routine. Hey, Matt, what you doing this morning? Motivation. Motivation is what you use for your morning routine. All right, Matt. Good to hear. Who do you listen to? Who's your motivational speaker or music of choice first thing in the morning? I know I get up. I just spend some time myself, just trying to do a little bit of meditation, trying to get myself centered. Can't be too loud. A lot of children in the house. So I usually start the day kind of quiet so that the babies ain't up until the babies need to be up. And like I said, this 4:30 a.m. walk and talk today is about the importance of a morning routine. Um, so the morning routine towards discipline serves a lot of purposes. Um, I'm going to share some of those with you today and how it prepares you for your entire day. It prepares you for success. It gets you into a good place, a good mental space. And I think that's one of the most important things is that uh, in order for you to really start with the appropriate morning routine, I think it's important to go to bed at a good time as well. Hey, Chad, how you doing? I'm breathing really hard to be doing meditation. Yeah, uh, that portion of that segment of the morning routine has completed. I'm out here on the walk this morning. It is kind of chilly out, but I've also picked up the tempo of my walk. So it's a 30-minute walk. I I'm tracking the walk on my watch. So I'm trying to get as far away from the house as I possibly can during my walk. Because once I finish walking out, I run back home. So that's a part of my fitness training in the morning. I do a 30-minute walk out and then I run back to the house as quickly as possible. So yeah, uh, dude, it's the middle of the night for me. All right, man, middle of the night. Well, good to see you here. Thank you for stopping in. Please drop a like. I really appreciate the comment and the share. Glad to have you here. Thank you very much, Josh. Thank you very much for the respect. So, as I was saying, the talk today is really about. Uh, hey, how you doing, Robert? Good morning. The talk this morning is really about discipline and the importance of a morning routine. So, one of the reasons that a morning routine is going to be so important for your discipline program is because the morning routine it sets you off. Now, one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't know is one, if you get to bed, you get a good night's sleep. You want your body to wake you up naturally. Now, it's a challenge because, well, you have to get to bed on time. And oftentimes, everything else that we're trying to do in life will ask for so much of our time, which is why you have to try to put yourself first. You have to try to create a space where you understand the purpose of yourself, and working on yourself requires for you to set some other things aside. But getting to bed is a good time, letting the body wake up naturally without having to use an alarm clock. One of the major challenges of using an alarm clock is it gives you that snooze button eject for the wake up call. And so even if you are determined and you have the motivation, as Matt said earlier, oftentimes that snooze button is just, it's very alluring. It really wants to pull you in and get you to go back to sleep, get some rest. What's a few more minutes, man? I mean, I normally wake up between 3:50 and 4 a.m. naturally, but I also usually try to get to bed before 9, so I'm sleep by 9. Now, that's not possible for everyone, but if you do have to set an alarm, set an alarm. The beginning of the process is just about getting up. Hey, Chris, how you doing? I don't have a love clock. God, get me up. There you go, Chris. Every morning, God just tap you on the shoulder, say, Chris, let's go. It's time to go. That's what I'm talking about. So the awesome thing about starting the day that way is as you wake up in the morning, your subconscious is most susceptible to suggestion at that time. And so why is this important? Why is it important to greetings from Rochester, brother? How you doing? Greetings from here. I'm also in the Northeast, more like the Mid-Atlantic. But yes, up. Is it windy up there where you are, Chris? Because we are catching the breeze here. Uh, in from Windy. How you doing? Checking in, Wendy. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Uh, nope, walking right now, but I'll do the run back afterwards. Thanks for asking, John. So yeah, so it's kind of windy here on the East Coast right now. But what that morning routine does with discipline is because the subconscious is so susceptible, like Chris says, he gets up and he prays. And so praying, meditating, reading, journaling, all of these things allow for you to tap directly into your subconscious first thing in the morning and give it direction. So why is that important? Why is it important to wake up first thing in the morning and give your subconscious direction? Because most of our behaviors are are driven by our subconscious, okay? Our reactions to things, how we feel about things, how we feel about people, they're subconscious. Like when you have a response to a specific smell or to the taste of something, you don't think about going, ooh, right? Or you don't think about going, oh, wow, that's nice. You don't think about it. It just happens subconsciously. It's just a natural reaction, right? And so when you wake up in the morning and you start to program your subconscious with graciousness, care, gratefulness, love, kindness, and caring for yourself, it spills directly over into your day, right? And so what that does is it opens up the opportunity from the very beginning. Uh, so it opens up from the very beginning your ability to engage with your day purposefully, right? So it's really easy for us to just get up and start going. It's really easy for us to get up and just start, scrolling through our emails or looking at text messages or checking our social feed. That clutters the brain. Chris just said it. So what happens is our subconscious now believes that we need to get all of these things done, that there's a lot going on. We need to be proactive about engaging and getting these things completed. Like they're urgent. They require our attention, our intention right now. And so one of the things we want to do to thank you very much for all of the love and emotes, guys. I really appreciate it. Think I know where those are coming from. So one of the things that we always want to do is we want to make sure that while we're going through this process, while we're going through this early morning routine, that we are creating a way for our subconscious to be attentive to our in particular choices that we're making for the day, right? And what does that mean? That means if we are going through the day and we have specific things we want to get done, let's jot those things down. Because now, if we jot those 3 or 4 things down that are important to our day, boom, the subconscious is starting to eat that in. It becomes less difficult later on in the day to recall those tasks, and they don't feel as challenging to get to. Uh, Finance expert out in the streets. I'm Batman for real, yes, sir. Um, so what do you got there, Chris? You say obtain goals this month, this year. Right. So you can set short and long-term goals. I think it's one of the biggest things because when we start talking about discipline, one of the biggest things about being able to establish it is you need to set obtainable goals. Oftentimes, people don't establish discipline because they start off in the wrong place. I've done that in the past, right? And so, as I've mentioned in one of my previous lives, I said, hey, I'm going to start off by reading 20 pages a day in a book. And this is after not reading a whole book for 3 to 5 years. So I did not achieve that. I jumped way too far out in front of what I was needing to do. And so I needed to set a more manageable goal so that I could receive that dopamine from achieving that manageable goal. And the great thing about that is now you become more and more invested, and you start to believe more and more in your ability to achieve those goals. And so you set short-term goals. And one of the first things that I say, and someone just mentioned it about self-awareness, the way I teach discipline, again, I spent a lot of years as a personal trainer, nearly 2 decades. During that time working with my clients, one of the biggest things that I stressed was that you have 4 pillars for discipline, right? First, you have repetition. Next, you're going to have consistency. You're going to follow that with patience. And the final one's going to be perseverance. And so we kind of break all of that down because when you look at all of the elements that are required to develop discipline, you're going to have to go through those stages, go through those steps. Chris, you says my ultimate goal is to get back to walking. Well, keep doing the work, right? It's the way. So, and that's the thing is when you set a goal, right? You start to say, okay, here are my check marks. Here are my building blocks. Here are the steps that I'm going to take. Here are the things that I'm going to do. And then you set yourself as your purpose. One of the things I always encourage, don't look at outside people. Don't look at how other people perform. Don't look at other people's capabilities. Don't look at what other people do. You can glean from them information, but you have to make sure you're developing your program for you versus developing a program or trying to take from somebody else what they did. When I started off as a personal trainer, that's literally all I did in the gym. So when I first started as a personal trainer, the first thing I did is this is before I had a training license. It was really just come into the gym, find somebody working out, you say, hey, I want to look like that guy, or I want to work out with that guy. It looks like what he's doing is hard. And then you would just invite people over and say, hey, do what I do. But that doesn't work. Everybody's body isn't the same. Everyone's goals are not the same. Everyone is not trying to achieve the same thing or starting from the same place. So it's very important to make sure that we're setting that up correctly. And again, that morning routine, I'm going to get back to this morning routine, which is kind of what the focus is today, is this morning routine allows for us to go into the day engaged and powerful, right? It allows for us to begin the day understanding that we have chosen to activate our day versus allowing our day to encroach on us, versus us being attacked by the day and forced to go. Uh, I'm glad you say I'm your internet uncle now. So one of the great things about being able to see your day, see what you're doing, and attack your day is that it gives you the ability to, throughout your day to know what you're doing, right? And so from time to time, what can happen is um, we can start going throughout a day. And if we haven't started our day with intention, we don't know what our purpose is, what our goals and objectives are. If we don't know any of those things, what happens to us is the day takes control. Now, all of a sudden, we're traveling along a path and we find out, man, I'm way behind where I want to be. The things that I wanted to get done today, I'm behind, I'm rushing, I'm frantic. Things start to the cortisol and other chemicals start to build up in the body. They slow down the thinking process. They slow down the response. The efficiency goes way down. And this is simply, hey, wake up in the morning, that first hour of the day. Let's take some intentional steps in that first hour of the day to prepare ourselves for what the rest of our day is going to look like. And so that's really important about being able to get to the right place. Uh, early bird gets the worm. Better than that, the early bird gets the worm and the fish. And it's not just about, and one of the great things about that particular comment where the early bird gets the worm is that what it tells you is that when you are the early bird, you get to work in peace. You get to choose to start your day, and you are well ahead of the people who wake up an hour and a half later. You're already into your day. You're already prepared. You're already starting to uh, 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 to achieve, right? So there was this old. I'm going to be dating myself now. Excuse me, there's this old Army commercial that said, we do more by 6 a.m. than most people do all day. Well, that's relevant. That's pertinent because that means that you started your day with intention and you went about achieving goals. You went about trying to get work done. And so, very important for you to understand that when you are intentional about your day, you're intentional about waking up, you're intentional about having a morning routine, it allows for things to work. And the better you get at this morning routine, the more locked in you get your morning routine, the less time it takes. The faster you come out the other side, the quicker you get engaged into the other things that you're going to be doing for the day. And so all of that stuff is really, really important, which is why getting up early and setting a routine is important. And it doesn't have to be complex, but understand when you go from, so for example, you may start with just getting up early. That's the repetition of it, right? So I just want to be up by 5, or I just want to be up by 4. Whatever the time is, I just want to be awake by that time. When you start out, you're simply doing that as repetition. That's the small step. Don't set the goal of, I'm going to be up by 4. I'm going to run 3 miles. I'm going to prepare lunch, breakfast, and dinner. I'm going to eat. I'm going to lift. Like, don't jump off the deep end. Let's start with, I'm getting up at a certain time. And then you start to make the effort. You do the work to get up at that time. And most people think, well, what I need to do in order to get up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. is I need to set an alarm clock. No, you need to go to bed. So it's not about getting up at 6 a.m. Or 4 or 5 a.m. As important as it is to be in bed before midnight. Turn off Netflix. Let's stop scrolling. Let's put our phones down. Let's get into bed. 8:30. Boom, we're asleep by 9. Now waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock isn't a challenge because if you're asleep by 9 o'clock, 9 to 5 is 8 hours. Most of us start to toss and turn around 6 and a half. And so now this early wake up time isn't as challenging as it used to be, right? So when you become your purpose and you're working on yourself, you get to stop being distracted and start focusing on you. Uh, Sleep is very important. That's true, Jonathan, what you're saying about sweating off the fat. And that's very good, Chris. Every day up at 6 a.m. Uh, okay, so I can't pronounce the name, but FC. How do I deal with disappointment more maturely? So, dealing with disappointment is, well, this is going to sound kind of corny, but it's mindset, right? So, we have to understand what is disappointment, right? Disappointment is simply unmet expectations, right? So, first and foremost, we have to understand who set the expectations. So, if you're disappointed by something you did, and this is kind of off the topic that we were having, guys, which was about discipline, but I'm going to take a moment to share with FC if you guys don't mind. If you set the objective, if you set the goal, and you don't achieve that goal, you don't stop, right? So, if the goal is to get up at 6 a.m. and you get up at 6:53, okay, there's always tomorrow. There's always the day after. So don't beat ourselves up too bad for things we don't achieve. If you're talking about disappointment from others, there are many levels to it, but disappointment usually comes from unmet expectations. So that that dealing with it maturely starts at the very beginning of, hey, did I allow for my desired expectations to be known from the beginning, right? So you can have disappointment because you have expectations that the other person isn't aware that you have. So that starts at the beginning. And it includes yourself, right? So we can jump right back into discipline with that point. And so if you're disappointed because you haven't achieved the fitness goals that you wanted to achieve or the financial goals that you wanted to achieve, what type of goals did you set? Where did you get the knowledge? Where did you get the understanding that it should be achievable in what period of time? You have to look at these factors and you have to say, am I even setting a reasonable goal? So, for example, a friend of mine says, don't deal with the don't deal with the disappointment of not hitting the lottery if you never buy a lottery ticket. Right? So, if you're saying, man, dude, if I hit the lottery, I buy me a house, buy my mama a house, I get all my boys together, but you never buy a lottery ticket. No, that's not going to happen for you. So don't be disappointed when the lottery hits and somebody hits it for $6.5 million or whatever. You can't be disappointed by that. You were never in that game. That's another thing to keep in mind about disappointment. Uh, no problem, anytime. Jonathan, nice replenishment of energy, meditation, yoga. I thank you guys so much for sharing with each other in the chat. I really appreciate that. I know I would like to be able to get to all of the comments. I'm not quite able to do that, but I appreciate you guys being there for one another. And I'll let you know, guys, it's a really big deal because my focus of getting up at this time is really to help start a community. Like Wendy did earlier, hey, I'm up, I'm out. For most people, I'm just trying to be the wake up call for those goals that they're trying to hit. You don't have to stay around for half an hour. I don't think motivation is what we need. I think we might need a nudge, we might need encouragement, but really, it has to be self driven. Someone said before, we have to be self aware, and then we have to hold ourselves accountable. So we have to be self aware and self accountable. And what does that do for us? It allows for us to determine what our investment is, what our expectation is, and how we're going to achieve our goal, right? So on here, I just walked up a significant hill. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to turn it on the fitness end. So, excuse me again, if what we're doing is specifically saying, hey, I want to get up, I want to get out, and I want to get at it, do it, guys. I love everyone stopping in. I love the likes. I love the emos, the comments. Please continue to do so. But if I'm your alarm clock and you're just here to say, hey, I'm up and I'm up and out, guys, I really love the fact that everyone gets this opportunity because I'll be completely honest with you. If you're up at this time and you're focused on you, which is your purpose, you don't need to spend 30 minutes here with me. You don't need it because the whole point of you being up at this time before everyone else is up is so you can get to work on you. So, whatever that is, I don't know if that's writing, meditating, running, lifting weights, cooking, studying, whatever it is, get up, get at them. That's all you got to do. Just drop a hey, I'm up and I'm out. Drop that in the chat. Drop a like, share if you would like to. I would love to see that I'm able to just be like an alarm clock, just a wake up call. I'm not looking for you guys to hang out the whole morning with me. I do appreciate those who do stick around. I love the fact that you guys are building a community and you're able to share with each other in the chat. This is really about building a strong connection, about us being able to identify that we're working on our purpose. And Gloria said mind over matter. It's a little bit of mind over matter, but really what it is understanding that the purpose in our life is us, right? So if we're going to invest time, we need to invest time in us, right? So I really want everyone out there to understand, dude, I'm literally the alarm clock. I'm up, I'm out, dude. Drop a chat, drop a thumbs up, drop a heart, and get on your grind because I understand that 30 minutes sitting here watch me huff and puff while I walk up hills may be entertaining, but it may not necessarily be what you need to reach your particular goal. And I, this is really about this community being able to support each other, guys. I'm only on here for 30 minutes. I'm not on here trying to get uh, 50 hours of view time or anything like that. I'm here from 4:30 to 5 o'clock because I'm up from 4:30 to 5 o'clock anyway. And I was just able to figure out that during this time, I have an opportunity to share and that there may be some people who could benefit from me sharing. And so I'm doing that so that I could, like I said, be that alarm clock. Help get the guys up, help get the community built, and help us get started on our day. And so discipline is the key to that. Remember, there's 4 pillars to disciplines, guys. 4 pillars. You're going to have repetition. You're going to follow that with consistency. Then you're going to have patience and you're going to have perseverance. Those elements are very, very important. It's what we discuss constantly here at BNV Finance Fixers. And we have these conversations because everybody believes in order to fix their money, they have to focus on their money. You don't. In order to fix your financial position, in order to fix your living conditions, in order to fix anything, you must start with discipline because it doesn't matter how good the plan is. If you do not have the discipline to follow it, it's going to fall through every time. So what do we got? Gloria, I'm in California. Live with you. Thank you very much, Gloria. I do lives mostly in the morning, and occasionally I release some of my lives the following day. FC, I was born and raised in Pomona. All right, you guys, West Coast. All right, shout out to Alabama. All right. I guess that's a roll tide in the chat. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I'm happy that you guys have stayed and participated. As you can see, guys, the time is 4:59. So what's going to happen for me is I've walked away from my house as far as I'm going to walk. I'm going to turn around. We're going to bring the chat to a close. As always, I appreciate you. I appreciate the participation. I appreciate all of the love and the support in the community. Check your cell phone, make your day schedule, and be on your way. Will do, guys. Thank you very much for stopping in. Once again, it was a pleasure speaking to you here at BNV Finance Fixers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.